Hello everyone, hope you guys are fine and are staying safe at home. Welcome to the online class of class 7 science. So today I am going to deal the first chapter from the physics corner. Okay, so before I proceed into the chapter, I would like to give a small warm-up session for you all. In this warm-up session, I would like to narrate a small story for you all. So imagine there were two children named Bujo and Paheli. They both are living in different region. Okay. So here consider this girl as Paheli. So this girl, what do you observe from this picture? So there is some sort of sunlight over here, and as you can see in this picture, she is sweating heavily, right? So when you observe the picture, you can say that yeah, she is sweating heavily. So which means she is living in a place where it is too hot now. Where it is too hot. Now imagine this another girl, Paheli. This girl, you know what she is wearing? She is wearing a sweaters, lot of sweatshirts, and she is some sort of shivering and panicking too. So which means what do you infer from this? Which means that she is living in a very cold region. Okay, so especially the place where it is summer, there it will be too hot, and the place where it is winter, that place it will be too cold. So you can easily identify from this that this girl, she is living in a region where it is too hot, and this girl is living in a region which is too cold. Okay, now they both wanted to have an ice cream. Okay, so everybody, you guys also would love to have ice cream, especially during summer, right? Now, ice cream is hot or cold. So, as you might have seen, ice creams are mostly cold in nature. Ice creams used to be too chill. Ice cream is supposed to be kept in a refrigerator or a freezer. Then only it will be tasty to even eat it. Whereas the girl who is living in a winter region, the girl who is living in a cold region, she doesn't want to take ice cream, but she wants to take a very hot tea. So what do you see in this picture? There is a teacup, okay, where a hot tea is poured. So you can see the steam also coming out, right? So you can easily identify from these as well that ice cream is a very cold object, whereas tea is a hot object, right? Now, with this, you might have got some hint with this story. You might have got a small hint that, okay, in this chapter, anyhow, we are going to deal about hot and cold region or hot and cold objects. Okay, so the chapter name of this class is about heat. So this is going to be the first chapter in physics. So what is our today's learning objective? So in this module, we are going to learn about hot and cold objects. And at the end of this lesson, you guys will be able to learn about measuring temperature. This is very, very important. Okay. So before I proceed to this measuring temperature, I'd like to give few more examples on hot and cold objects. So I want you guys to pick a notebook, or you just try to, analyze this and try to, answer it on your own. So you can see here in our day-to-day life, we come across a number of objects, and some of them are hot and some of them are cold. Now here in this tabular column, there are a lot of objects which is mentioned over here. So already for one object, I have ticked the right answer. So as I discussed in the warm-up session, ice cream is a very cold object which is used to be a very at a very cool temperature. So that is why I have ticked as cold or cool. Whereas spoon in a teacup. So if you have a warm or hot tea placed and inside the teacup, if you have kept a spoon, teaspoon, so when you pick the teaspoon outside and when you touch on the surface of the teaspoon, will you feel warm or cold? You will obviously feel warm or hot. The same way for fruit juice, whether it is cool or hot, you have to take it. Whereas similarly, another example, handle of frying pan. So when your mummy prepares any omelette or something, okay, she used to fry in the pan only. Okay, so you just have to touch the handle of the frying pan to analyze whether it is hot or cold. So based on your observations, whatever you are observing in your daily life, so you have to answer this so that you can able to identify which objects are hot in nature and which of these objects are cold in nature. Okay, there is one more small activity for you which you can try in your home, which will help you to furthermore analyze the differentiation between hot and cold objects. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you just have to take three different maybe tub or any water bath, and inside each tub what you have to do, you have to fill with water, but not the water in the same temperature. First, before filling the water, what you have to do, you have to label this tub as A and label this tub as B and the third one as C. Okay, so in tub A you are supposed to fill cold water. So what you have to do, you have to take the cold water from your refrigerator and you have to fill on tub A. Whereas in tub B, you are supposed to fill the hot water. Make sure it is not too hot. Okay, so just to warm it a bit and then fill in it. And in the third tub, what you have to do, you have to mix little bit of cold water and little bit of hot water and you have to fill it in tub C. Okay, then after filling the water in all these tubs, what you have to do, you have to put your left hand in the tub A. Just keep it for 1 minute or 2 minutes and then take it outside. Then on tub B, you put your right hand and leave it for some 1 or 2 minutes and then you can take it out. So what feeling you might get? So since I told you tub A already contains cold water, so when you dipped your hand in tub A for few minutes, your hand when you take it out, it will be cooler than the previous one. The temperature of your left hand will be reduced, right? Whereas in the tub B, since it contained hot water, when you take your hand out after 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes after dipping, so the temperature of your right hand will raise and you will feel hot. Your right hand is hot. Okay. Now what you have to do, you have to put both of your hands in tub C and dip it for some 2 to 3 minutes and then take it out. Now when you observe, in the beginning your left hand was cool and your right hand was hot. Now after dipping in tub C, you might not find much difference in the temperature. Both of your hands temperature will come to the same position or the same temperature. So what do you inference from this? What do you infer from this? You can understand that the temperature may vary according to different conditions. Now you can just say, okay, the left hand was hot, the left hand was cool, the right hand was hot, and after dipping tub C, both the hands temperature became to the normal room temperature. Like that you can infer. But do you know, have you ever done the measurement now? You have not done the measurement. Okay. So what you need to do to determine how much hot and how much cold your hand is, for that only temperature comes as a key factor. Temperature plays the role as a key factor. Okay. So what you have to do now, how do we find how hot an object is? How will we find? It's a very good question, right? So a reliable measure of the hotness of an object is due to its temperature. So what will a temperature do? A temperature will help you to determine how much hot an object is and how much cold an object is. Is that clear? So that is the reason why we need to read the temperature of different objects. Okay. Now before moving on to measuring the temperature of different object, I would like to show you how to measure the body temperature. So in your lesson, the first topic of measuring temperature begins with measuring the body temperature. Okay. So how do we measure body temperature? Whenever you get fever, you used to visit hospitals, right? So as soon as you visit hospital, what your doctor will do, they will first use a stethoscope and then they will check your heartbeat. And after that, a doctor will take a thermometer and he will keep the thermometer in your mouth for a few minutes. And after that, when he will take out the thermometer from the mouth and he will say whether you have fever or a normal temperature, right? So have you seen a thermometer? I hope everybody would have seen the thermometer. So if you have not seen the thermometer, I will show you how a thermometer looks like. So what is the purpose of thermometer? The thermometer helps you to measure our body temperature. So always keep that in mind. A thermometer will help you to measure our body temperature, and that thermometer we call it as clinical thermometer. So such type of thermometer which we use to measure our body temperature is what we call it as clinical thermometer. Now this is the image of clinical thermometer. This is how a clinical thermometer looks like. Now you can see what are all the parts which is there in the clinical thermometer. In the clinical thermometer, at the bottom there will be a tip. There will be like a pen shaped tip, and that is called bulb. That's called bulb of the thermometer. And outside the bulb there will be some shining silvery layer coated around it, and that silvery layer is nothing but the mercury. It is coated with the mercury, which is a metal, okay, which is actually a toxic metal, which is harmful. Okay, then inside the thermometer it is connected, the mercury level rises due to a thread. Okay, so this thread, when you keep it in your mouth, when you keep the thermometer in your mouth, since the bulb contains mercury, it will detect your body temperature and the thread will slowly rise. You might have seen when a doctor checks the temperature, this will slowly rise and it will stop in a position in accordance to your body temperature, with which you can easily determine how much your body temperature is. Okay, clear? And there is this layer, there is something called bend. This is called bend, which will help the thermometer, which will help the thread not to fall down immediately. So it will stay there for a few minutes. Okay, after you read and you take out the thermometer also, this mercury level will not dip immediately because of this. Okay, now I hope you guys would have understood the different parts of thermometer. Now I will tell you how to measure your body temperature using clinical thermometer. So while measuring the body temperature in your clinical thermometer, you need to follow certain steps, some precautions you need to follow while reading a clinical thermometer. So a clinical thermometer reads temperature from only 35 degree to 42 degree. As you might have seen in the thermometer, you can see the temperature starts from 35 to 42 or 43 degree only, because an average human body temperature's range will be from 35 to 42 only. It will not go below 35 and it will not raise above 42 as well. Okay, so that's the reason why in your thermometer the temperature range is only from 35 to 42 degree. Now what are all the precautions you need to observe while reading a clinical thermometer? So first thing what you should do is you should wash the thermometer before and after use, preferably with an antiseptic solution like a Dettol or something. Why means, because when you keep the thermometer in one person's mouth, there is a possibility some sort of bacteria or virus may be inside the saliva of that person. So when you take it out and without washing, if you put it in somebody else's mouth, there is a chance that the bacteria or virus may spread from one person to another person. So to avoid that infection to spread, what you need to do before and after use, immediately you should wash the thermometer with an antiseptic solution. Second thing, ensure that before use the mercury level is below 35 degree. You might have observed before using the thermometer, they will just shake it a bit. Okay, so that the mercury level should come below 35 only. If the mercury level is somewhere around 36 or 37, and without checking that, if you keep that, I mean, if you try to read the measurement, try to read the temperature, it will show you the wrong information. Okay, so to avoid that, what you need to do, you should first check whether the mercury level is below 35 and then read the thermometer keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight, which means when you are keeping the thermometer, you should keep it diagonally. Okay, you should not keep straight or something else. So when you keep it diagonally only, you can able to easily view also the rise in mercury level. Okay, and then handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard object, it can break. Since this thermometer is made out of glass, so what you need to do, you need to handle it very carefully so that it should not break. And since it contains mercury, which is a toxic element, okay, it may cause some poisonous substance to enter in our body. So mercury is a poisonous substance. If it enters our body, then it may lead to some other problem. So what you need to do, okay, you should handle it with care. You should not give it to children and all. Okay, and don't hold a thermometer by the bulb while reading. So while reading it, the bulb is there, right? So this bulb you are not supposed to touch while reading. Okay, so these are all few precautions which you need to observe while reading in a thermometer. Now you need to understand few facts, okay, about reading the body temperature. So the normal temperature of human body is up to 37 degree. So 37 degree, it will not be the same for everybody. Okay, see, is the body temperature of every person is 37 degree? No, it may vary. For some person, it will be slightly lesser than 37 degree, and for few person, it will be slightly higher than the 37 degree. So that depends on where that person is living. If he is living in a very hot region, then there are possibility that the normal temperature itself will be around some 37.5 or 38 degree. If the person is living in a cold region like Kashmir and all, for them the normal temperature may be around 36 degree. Okay, it will not go below 36 degree. So that is, you can see here, whenever you write the temperature, so the unit of measurement is degree Celsius. So this is how we need to represent the unit for measuring the temperature. So this is the temperature level and this is the unit degree Celsius. Now, why do we call 37 degree as normal temperature? Means we call normal temperature because this is the average body temperature of large number of healthy persons. So what the doctors did, they took a survey. See, when they do the reading, they will come to know, okay, for maximum persons, the normal body temperature comes around 37 degree. So they declared that, okay, 37 degree is the normal body temperature of every human being. Okay, so the temperature of human body normally does not go below 35 degree or above 45 degree. This I have already discussed. Okay, so usually the normal temperature will be around 36 to 37. It does not go below 35 also, and it does not shoot above 42 as well. So that is the reason this thermometer has the range only from 35 to 42 degrees Celsius. Now, there is one caution. There is one precaution which you need to, another precaution which you need to strictly follow while using thermometer, especially clinical thermometer. Say some of you might be naughty as well. You try to become like a scientist and try to do some experiment with thermometer, okay? So don't do all this. So what you need to follow is, see, this clinical thermometer is only used to measure the body temperature, not any other object. Okay. So some children may take the thermometer and they will try to dip the thermometer in hot tea to measure the temperature of the tea. All these you should not do. And you should not keep the thermometer in the sunlight or near a flame, because if you keep, it may break. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to use clinical thermometer only to measure your body temperature, not any other object's temperature. Okay, for that another thermometer is available that we will discuss in the next class. Okay, not in this class. So in this class only we discussed about clinical thermometer. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of whatever we have seen in this class. So what we have discussed, a reliable measure of hotness of an object, how much hot or how much cold it is. So that is determined only by using temperature. And the thermometer, which thermometer we are using? We are using clinical thermometer to measure our body temperature. And a clinical thermometer reads the temperature from 35 degree to 42 degree Celsius. That is a normal body temperature, and I mean the normal range of a human body temperature. So either it will not go below 35 and above 42 degree. That's the reason why a clinical thermometer has a reading from 32 to 35 to 42 degrees Celsius. Now there is a quick assessment for you. Okay, since you guys are not in the class, otherwise I would have done oral assessment, or maybe I would have asked you to do a quick quiz. Okay, now what you just do is, all of you just take a notebook. Okay, and I have given a couple of questions here. It's a very simple question. You just have to read out the question and try to answer it on your own. Okay, don't try to answer exactly from the book. Whatever you understood in today's class, okay, based on your understanding, you try to answer it on your own, take a snap of it and share it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so what is the first question here? How will you determine the hotness of an object? Okay, so I have already discussed how can we determine whether an object is hot or cold. So you try to answer on your own. And the second question is, which thermometer is used to measure the body temperature? Okay, so for these two questions, yeah, you can refer the video also, this video, and try to answer, or mostly you try to answer it on your own. Okay, and there is a small homework for you as well. So this homework is something like an activity for you. Okay, it is not a normal homework. This is like a home fun for you. If you guys have clinical thermometer in your home, see, please remember, if you have clinical thermometer at home, if you don't have, no problem, no issues, don't force your parents, okay? If you have clinical thermometer in your home, what you have to do is you just have to measure the body temperature of a family member. Okay, don't panic. We are not going to reveal all this to anybody. This is just for your observation, okay, so that you can get a practice on how to measure the body temperature. What you have to do is you have to write the names of your family members and measure the body temperature, and whatever the readings you are getting, that you need to note it. Okay, so thank you children. Okay, we'll see you in our next class. Okay, till then, take care and stay safe. Bye bye.